Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer. We are diving into advanced testing strategies for the Capstone. If you've been following along in our Solidity and Ethereum Quests track, specifically the Intermediate Solidity Project's Contract Patterns course, you know we are right in the thick of our Capstone module, developing a modular smart contract system. And let me tell you, this is where the rubber literally meets the road. We're going to make sure all those individual pieces of code you've been meticulously crafting actually function together as one massive, cohesive unit.
Just to quickly orient ourselves on the map, in our last session, reentrancy analysis and reproducible findings, we were busy hunting down bugs and locking things down tight. Today, we're right here in the middle stage, advanced testing. We are building automated integration tests to prove that our modular systems work flawlessly together. Mastering this step? Well, it's exactly what sets you up for a spectacular Capstone presentation, which is coming up next.
So, here's our technical blueprint for today. We'll be moving from blueprints to the assembly line, setting up test fixtures, running the proxy upgrade test, checking our payments and governance gates, capturing test metadata, and finally, packaging that final artifact.
Let's jump right into Section 1, from blueprints to assembly line.
First off, take a second to celebrate. Your project blueprints are locked in, your module interfaces are completely mapped out, and your responsibility matrix is totally ready to go. But now we face a pretty common problem. You know, we all have that one developer friend who writes a flawless smart contract, tests it in a complete vacuum, and proudly calls it a day. Sure, contracts work fine in isolation, but what happens when they actually have to talk to the registry or the payment module? Sparks fly. We absolutely need automated integration tests to prove these modules don't accidentally break each other when they begin interacting out in the wild.
Moving on to Section 2, setting up test fixtures.
Okay, we're entering the rising action of our development cycle here. This is where we actually build out our testing factory using frameworks like Hardhat or Foundry. Now, think of a test fixture as a pristine, freshly swept factory floor before every single individual test. It's basically a deterministic setup script that completely resets your environment. We use these inside our before each hooks to deploy minimal proxy and implementation contracts. This keeps our tests completely isolated, blindingly fast, and most importantly, totally free from that annoying environmental flakiness that causes false failures.
And hey, speaking of keeping things fast and clean, we got to talk about mocking. Mocking is essentially deploying simplified stand-in contracts. I honestly love to think of them as stunt double tokens. By using mock ERC20 tokens, we can safely simulate payment transfers without relying on real-world networks or live assets. Those carry complex overhead and could easily ruin our clean, deterministic testing environment.
So here is the exact four-step assembly line we use to spin up a local Hardhat test environment using ethers. Step 1, we initialize our signers, your classic Alice and Bob. Step 2, we deploy those mock stunt double tokens we just talked about. Step 3, we deploy the registry and the core modules. And finally, Step 4, we attach our proxies. It's a clean, highly repeatable process that works every single time.
Let's roll into Section 3, the proxy upgrade test. All right, we are moving into our first major stress test. Proxy upgrades are notoriously the exact spot where developers tend to panic. Because think about it, if storage layouts get ruined during an upgrade, the whole system collapses. No pressure, right? This is why mapping out your checkpoints before writing a single line of test code is absolutely crucial. Check out this engineering matrix. Notice how we translate an integration checkpoint directly into a concrete scenario and a primary assertion. For a proxy upgrade, the scenario is upgrading the implementation, and the primary assertion is making sure the new function actually executes while the old storage is perfectly preserved. We also have checkpoints here for the payment handshake and governance off, which we'll tackle in just a second. Let's zoom in on the exact flow of that proxy upgrade test. Step 1, deploy the version 1 implementation contract. Step 2, attach the proxy. Step 3, upgrade to version 2. And Step 4, which is the absolute invariant we must guard with our lives, we verify storage preservation. Whatever values you set in version 1 must still be perfectly readable after the upgrade. If your test fails here, actually it's almost guaranteed you've mismatched your state variable order or types between the two versions.
Which brings us to Section 4. Payments and governance gates.
Here we introduce our next two critical integration checkpoints that really hold this whole modular system together. Let's see how this builds on our stunt double tokens from earlier. When we test the payment handshake, we're basically simulating the registry requesting a payment. Our automated test must assert that Alice's balance, our payer over on the left, decreases.
while the payment module's balance, the payee on the right, increases. It's simple double-entry bookkeeping. We mint the tokens to Alice, she approves the module, the service is requested, and we check both balances to guarantee the accounting is flawless.
Now, what about the governance gate? Well, when you are progressing through Forge College learning programs, one of the biggest light bulb moments you'll have is realizing that testing for failures is just as vital as testing for success. Seriously, if a non-authorized account tries to trigger an admin-only action, your test must expect that transaction to be reverted with a very specific unauthorized error string. Guarding your access control like this prevents massive class-level regressions down the line.
All right, Section 5, Capturing Test Metadata.
You've reached the absolute climax of the developer experience, that incredible unmatched dopamine hit of seeing passing code in your terminal. But hold on a second. A passing test isn't enough for a Capstone deliverable. For each test file, you must include a JSON metadata object. This needs to include a descriptive test name, the checkpoint ID linking directly back to your design document, the owner detailing which team member is responsible, and of course, the result. Doing this creates a fully reproducible tracking structure for anyone who reviews your project.
Over on the left, we have a beautiful, clean execution with those lovely dark green dots, meaning all your integration tests passed flawlessly. On the right, a reverted output. But listen, don't panic if you see a revert. It just means you get a stack trace. Your job here is simply to match that revert message to the expected error string in your interface specification, fix the code, and get back to passing. It's just a puzzle waiting to be solved. And finally, Section 6, Packaging the Final Artifact.
It is time to extract your data, wrap up all this hard work, and get ready to ship the final product for your demonstration. You need two specific artifacts to complete this phase of the deliverable. Step 1, you run your test suite one last time. Step 2, you save that raw console output into a raw output.txt file. And Step 3, you generate that parsed JSON test summary we just discussed. Together, these two documents act as your concrete test evidence package. They permanently prove your modular system does exactly what it is supposed to do.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this really powerful principle. Clear tests double as executable specifications for how modules are expected to behave when integrated. It's not just about finding bugs, guys. Your test suite is the ultimate living documentation of your entire smart contract system. It literally tells the story of how your application works. So, I have to ask you, are your smart contracts truly ready for the assembly line? Or are they still just pretending to work safely in isolation? I highly encourage you to head over to forge.college to learn more about this subject, dive deep into other amazing Web3-related topics, and master the exact skills you need to completely crush your final Capstone presentation. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.